We're talking today about something so simple that you are going to think I've lost my mind, dedicating an entire episode to it. What is it? Water. Welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. I can already hear you saying it. Really, Nate, that's your big health tip. Water. Absolutely. The answer is absolutely. That is my big health tip. Maybe one of the biggest, because despite water being the most basic requirement for human function, other than perhaps just oxygen, right? People are walking around chronically underhydrated and they're wondering why they feel so terrible. And what fixes a shocking number of health complaints is drinking more water. Drinking more water. Brain fog, energy crash, headache, constipation, dry skin. Solution to each of those might be just drinking more water, making sure that you're adequately hydrated. So before you go wild trying to find the secret to what will help you to feel better, I would recommend this. Why not make sure that that box is checked? Hydration, that you're drinking a sufficient amount of water. So, what I'm going to do today is just pull together some insights from 2025 on hydration. We're going to cover things like brain function, systemic health, and of course, the single most important habit that you can start tomorrow. As you're listening, of course, you're going to be thinking about, okay, I got to make sure that I'm adequately hydrated. I'm going to share with you one of the easiest ways that you can make sure that you are adequately hydrated. I'll share that with you at the end. So hang on till the end. It's a lot easier than you think to make sure that you are adequately hydrated. All right, let's talk about water. Let's start with your brain because that might be the place where being underhydrated, and I'm going to be careful saying dehydrated because I know that um, that might be a little bit more of a technical term, and I don't want to get in any trouble with you scientists listening. But if I do accidentally slip and say dehydrated, uh, please forgive me. What I mean is underhydrated. How about that? That might be a little bit more correct way of saying it. But when you are underhydrated, the first place that it probably hits you, and the place, no doubt, that it hits you the hardest is in your brain. Now, it might not surprise you to know that your brain is mostly water. So when you're underhydrated, even just a little bit, your brain cells are affected. They don't communicate as efficiently. Your blood flow to those cells is affected. And of course, then if those brain cells are affected, your ability to utilize them to their maximum capacity, your cognitive function is going to definitely decline. One of our episodes, episode 252 this past year, I dug into some research on this in the American Journal of Human Biology, and I want to share it with you here. So here's a clip from that episode. Give it a listen. This was published in the American Journal of Human Biology back in 2023, and the goal was to explore how hydration affects attention. Hydration affects attention. Of course, our brain, we're going to give that the credit for being responsible for our attention. So, how does hydration affect attention in middle aged and older adults? The study included 57 healthy adults. Their ages were 47 to 70, right? Middle aged to older adults. And it was a mix of men and women. These individuals didn't have any major health issues. They were non smokers. They were healthy as far as, body mass index, that type of thing. So, what participants were asked to do was, first of all, to have a blood sample taken. the researchers used that sample to assess hydration by measuring how concentrated the blood is. Okay. So then, after they had taken that sample, they had participants complete a sustained attention task. It lasted 14 minutes and was designed to measure how well someone can focus on repetitive information over time. The goal was to try to replicate the type of mental attention that we use, that you and I use at work, in conversations, even just running errands day to day, right? Just repetitive information over time. Here's what was interesting about this study. Now, you'd think, right, if we are measuring hydration, that the researchers are going to have a very controlled amount of water that they're having people drink, right? So what was interesting about this one was that participants, they just walked in, they were just allowed to drink water whenever and however much they wanted. There were no restrictions on the assigned amount. So do what you feel like, right? We're going to know how much you've had based on that sample that we took. Then they divided the participants, right? They took the sample, they had them take the test, and they said, okay, who was hydrated and who was mildly dehydrated? So they weren't imposing dehydration on anyone, but just let people do what they wanted and then check, okay, who's more hydrated, who's a little bit dehydrated. The goal is this is a real life setting, right? People hydrate based on their own habits, whether they're told exactly how much to drink or they have a goal or they just drink whenever they're thirsty. Researchers wanted to see how natural hydration behaviors were linked to attention. Now you can guess where this is headed, right? You could already guess. Like, Nate, I know where this is going, right? So here's what the researchers found. Hydrated participants performed significantly better. They maintained their attention, they made fewer mistakes, they showed stronger cognitive control throughout that 14-minute test. Here's what's interesting. Even mild dehydration hurt mental performance. They didn't have to be severely dehydrated, right? These aren't people coming in from a heavy workout without getting a chance to drink or coming in from outside on a super, super hot day before. Let's have you take the test before you drink water, right? They're just mildly dehydrated. They may not have even known that they were dehydrated or thirsty. Just a small drop in hydration status was enough to reduce attention. All right, let that sink in. No pun intended. People in the study were mildly dehydrated. They were underhydrated. Okay. They weren't desperately thirsty. They were just a little low on fluids, and their performance suffered measurably. More mistakes, worse attention, reduced cognitive control. So think about this. Think about how many times in your life that you've struggled to focus and you blame it on all kinds of different things: lack of sleep, stress, too much screen time. I'm getting older. My memory's not working like it used to. But maybe, just maybe, it was just a matter of not having enough water. And of course, here's the kicker: as we age, the effect seems to be magnified. As we age, our brain gets even more sensitive to being adequately hydrated. I know for me, something that has made a big difference is just being proactive about how much water I'm consuming. I have a certain amount every single day that I try to hit. Got this big water bottle that I carry around with me, and try to fill it up at least twice. And I know I'm getting water from a lot of other sources, but when I do, for me, I find I feel so much better. I feel a huge difference when I hit that mark. And I know it's not just a psychological thing. Well, maybe it is just a psychological thing, but it's because I'm getting an adequate amount of water in each day. So I invite you to kind of experiment, see where you feel best, and maybe you'll find just pushing a little past where you typically are with how much water you're drinking, you're going to feel a difference. You're going to feel even better. So give it a try. Don't just make it about, am I thirsty? Am I not thirsty? Of course, that's a major signal, But see how you're feeling in terms of energy, in terms of clarity, in terms of ability to focus. Water plays a role in all of those things. Here's something else that water helps us to do, and it's not probably what people most readily think about. Being adequately hydrated is preventive medicine. There are so many health problems that perhaps we think might start with being underhydrated, or at least are made worse by a lack of proper hydration. I'm talking about things like some of them I mentioned earlier, but things like constipation. How about kidney stones? How about headaches? How about UTIs? Even some cases of high blood pressure could be linked or made worse by not having enough hydration in your body. Our hydration needs are they're very basic, but they are not optional. It's not like, oh, you know what? I can go days without getting enough water. It's okay. I'm still doing all right. Your body needs water to function. Every single system in your body needs water. And it's not just a matter of managing thirst, it's a matter of running things, running things and keeping them running. Cardiovascular system, digestive system, lymphatic system, your joints, your muscles, your brain, everything needs water. And when you're not getting enough, all of these systems function less efficiently. You are not the best version of yourself. Your organs are not running optimally. And even though the problem might show up in one area, more than likely, there's some issues throughout the whole body if we're not getting enough hydration. And then, of course, over time, just getting by on bare minimum in terms of water, it accumulates into actual problems. The fix, of course, is ridiculously simple, and it's so simple it's almost offensive, right? We might be out there. As I was putting this research together for this episode, I'm thinking about how many people are going to the doctor out there. How many, I don't know, I'm just like millions of dollars are spent on health care when the solution perhaps was just drinking more water. It's it, it for me it's mind-blowing. Just getting enough water consistently throughout the day, every day. How many of those doctor's visits, how many um, different health problems could just be completely avoided once we respect, or rather understand and then respect the fact that every cell in your body needs it, needs a good amount of it consistently. Coming down the hatch, got to swallow a lot of water every single day. So keep your water with you. Set reminders if you need to. Make it easier to drink water than it is not to. Your body's going to thank you in a whole bunch of different ways. Now, I'll share with you one hydration habit that for me that made a big difference. It is so easy to just wake up and go for the coffee. I'm a coffee person, and even making that adjustment initially, drinking water before coffee, it felt, I don't know, it felt wrong somehow because I just love that morning coffee. Oh man, Life Boost coffee. We love it here. We drink a lot of it. Incidentally, if you want to check it out, I've got a link for you in the show notes, our toolkit link. Go over there and check it out. Get a discount on your first batch of Life Boost coffee. But anyway, something I noticed right away when I was hitting the water first was better energy. There were changes in my digestion, my training sessions, which usually are a couple hours after I get up. They felt better. Um, just my ability to think clearer, faster, enjoy my morning thought sessions. That's one of the first things that I do is I'm relying heavily on my mind with some reading and some deep thinking every single morning. And coffee's great. We love it, but just plain old yummy water. And one little thing that I do a lot of times, just add some electrolytes in the form of unrefined sea salt, just a tiny bit into my water, to make sure that I'm not just drinking water, but I'm getting all those good minerals that our body needs as well, which are best delivered dissolved in some water. So here's the deal with hydration. It's simple, right? But most people are bad at it. It's simple, but maybe not easy. And maybe it is easy once you understand and you respect how important it is for your body. And those that are bad at staying hydrated, they pay for it, right? They pay for it with brain fog, low energy, poor physical performance. It could be digestive issues, all kinds of other problems that could be fixed with just focusing on drinking some more water. And, I would say you don't need anything fancy. Like I said, I add a little bit of electrolytes with unrefined sea salt into my water. I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing that or prescribing that for you, that's going to be the help ultimately for you, but it has been for me. It's helped a lot with muscle function, muscle cramps, things like that. So realizing it's about water, but it really is about even more than that. Now, promised you at the outset of the episode, I would give you one way that you can tell if you are underhydrated and how you're doing. Can you guess what it is? This one is I don't know, kind of fun. Maybe the little grade schooler in you is going to giggle a little bit, but it's looking and noticing the color of your urine. Okay? So we don't want a lot of color in that urine. If you're adequately hydrated. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just passing on things that others have told me, but you can just notice, right? Is it really deep, strong color, yellow, real powerful yellow color? Then you got some work to do. You got some hydration to make happen. And of course, if you're noticing, hey, you know, I don't see a lot of color at all. Maybe you're doing pretty well with staying hydrated. And of course, what I really want you to notice is when you have that feedback, that very real signal in terms of the color of the urine, and it's getting more pale, less yellow. I want you to notice how you're feeling energy wise, focus wise, positivity wise. How are you doing when you also have that feedback? Are you able to notice a bit of a difference? And if chronically there's an issue there where no matter what you do, you're just not able to keep up, maybe it is time to go and have a professional help you out a little bit. But for most of us, if otherwise you're healthy, we could do ourselves and our cells a lot of favors just by focusing on being adequately hydrated. Now, if you are like, okay, Nate, I got the water checked off, no surprise, but you listened all the way to this point in the episode, hey, I want to tell you something. I've got a 7-day program. Super happy about it. I'm thrilled with it. People are enjoying it. What it is 7 days you get to work with me absolutely free. We just call it a 7-day trial. You can get involved if you go over to beginwithin.fit/7day. It's the number 7 and then DAY. Beginwithin.fit/7day. Get over there. You don't need a credit card to set it up. It's absolutely free. And get enrolled in that program. I will reach out to you and I'll help you get started. I'm going to get some workouts in. I'm going to have some good, powerful conversations. My hope is it's 7 days that changes the rest of your life. So check it out. If now's not the right time, I totally get it as well. All good. But I'm going to be here with you next week. We'll talk soon. And until then, keep taking good care of yourself.